Hello and welcome to In Touch with Durham County, the show designed to provide you with information about Durham County government, people, programs, and services. I'm your host, Deborah Craig Ray. We're pleased to bring you another exciting show today. Willa Robinson Allen is the Chronic Disease and Injury Prevention Program Manager for Durham County's Department of Public Health. She joins us today to talk about mental health awareness and education, a very important issue today. And I'm looking forward to an insightful discussion. The Soil and Water Department promotes Durham County's natural resources by providing technical assistance, environmental education, and more to our residents. In our second segment, we will speak with Soil and Water Educational Outreach Coordinator Alicia Seneth. She will focus on environmental education and the work of her department. Hi, Willa. It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you, Deborah.
It's been a while since we've had you on the show.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to a great conversation.
Same here.
Yeah. So, I noted your title in my opening, but really just tell our viewers what you do for public health.
So my program area works in chronic disease and injury prevention. And so we have an opportunity to focus on diabetes, heart disease, gun safety, domestic violence, a whole host of topics.
Yeah. And how long have you worked for Durham County Public Health?
Almost 28 years.
You're trying to catch me. So we know that our recent community health assessment lists mental health as one of Durham's top 5 health priorities. And sadly, suicide is the third leading cause of death among ages 19 to 34 and second among 10 to 18-year-olds in North Carolina. With that backdrop, what educational services does the health department offer as it relates to mental health?
So we do offer at least 4 to 5 evidence-based programs. I'll start with ASSIST, and that one focuses on suicide. We have 2 mental health first aid programs. One is adult mental health first aid, and the other one is youth mental health first aid. And then also we offer quite a few stress management programs as well.
And I know people are taking advantage of that. So let's talk about ASSIST. Who should consider taking that training?
So anyone who is willing to be like a volunteer. And what the program does is it helps them to understand the risk as it relates to suicide and then how to have those conversations with someone. And so that one is it's a 2-day program.
Okay.
But oh my goodness, it is so worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Is there a cost associated?
There is no cost associated with it. With that or any of the other mental health programs that we offer.
Awesome. So you offer both adult and youth mental health first aid. How are those different and what skills do participants walk away with after that training?
Okay. Now, both of them are 8-hour trainings. The adult mental health first aid focuses on supporting adults who are 18 years and older. The youth mental health first aid program focuses on adults that support youth between the ages of 12 and 18.
Okay, more like caregivers.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, of course, not everyone is in crisis, but many people are just overwhelmed. Tell us about your stress management workshops and who they are for.
Okay. They're for anyone in the community. So they can be a one-time presentation. Some of our workshops last for maybe about 2 to 3 weeks with a session maybe an hour each week, and each week builds on the previous week. And so they learn skills about coping, recognizing stress, and then also, how to personally manage it because it's different for every person.
Yeah, and of course, we're hearing more about that. So what is the benefit of participating in these training classes?
Skills. the skills to help you to recognize symptoms pretty early so that you can tie people to the resources that are in the community. But even the skills are for personal, but also for sharing with others.
Yeah, yeah. And I can just recall when we were sort of going through COVID, a lot of people were isolating, and it just kind of stressed people out. Do you see, since we've kind of come out of COVID, that you see more people needing the help?
Well, the stress never goes away, unfortunately. But yes, they still do need the help. But I think recognizing it before it becomes very serious and detrimental to the body, and that's the first key.
Yeah.
But also recognizing what can you do about it.
Yeah, yeah. So if someone watching or listening wants to take a class, or maybe they have an organization, they want to bring in someone for a training, how do they get in touch with you? What should they do next?
They can call the health department. They can call me directly. My phone number, 919-560-7771. They can email me at wrobinson@dconc.gov. Now, if they can't remember my name, if you just call the health department and ask for any of those programs, assist, mental health first aid, stress management, I can almost guarantee you it'll find the right person.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're going to put those numbers on the screen as well. So I think one of our takeaways is that mental health education saves lives. Would
It
you agree to
does.
that?
Oh, yes, it definitely does.
And of course, if we work to help our families that are undergoing stress, that helps to build healthier communities, right?
Yes, it does. It does. And one thing to consider, mental health, there's a lot of stigma around it. And it's important to recognize that and know what resources are available. No one should ever be ashamed if they're having trouble dealing with the day-to-day things that happen in life. But knowing to ask for help and knowing where to get help, that's very important.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So, how often do you all offer these classes? How much demand is there in the community?
For our mental health first aid, there's quite a demand in the community. We try to offer them periodically, but if there's an organization that's interested in any of those programs, they can call us, and we're more than happy to partner.
Yeah, yeah. And so I can imagine, as you've been doing this work, you've interacted with a lot of individuals and families and groups. Is there like an evaluation or a story that stands out that you might want to talk about a little bit?
So, in our trainings, we have, because mental health first aid covers a little bit of suicide. Assist covers quite a bit more. And so we've had participants that they come with all kinds of experiences, maybe a family member,
Yeah.
a friend, and they just didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do. And that's one of the beauties to these programs. It helps you to understand what's going on, but also to identify what the next steps are. Now, none of us are practitioners. We don't have degrees and special trainings in mental health first aid or in suicide, but knowing those basics is going to be so important to at least get a person started and let them know what resources are available.
Yeah, and knowing our community, I know we have quite a lot of very, very good resources. And you mentioned that this program is evidence-based.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we're about out of time. Is there a final thought you'd like to share with our viewers or just remind them of why this is so important?
I would say it's important it's never a problem to ask for help. but also if you're willing to help, please get in touch with us and participate in these trainings. They, as mentioned before, there's no charge for them, and that's one of the reasons that we're here, to be able to offer those resources.
And one more time, give us your number and a website.
All right. Again, I'm Willa Robinson Allen, and my phone number is 919-560-7771. And my email is wrobinson@dconc.gov.
Well, Willa, we just want to thank you and your team for all that you do to help keep our community safe and healthy. I know you have your hands in a lot of different programs, as you mentioned at the top, but again, we're just so grateful for all the work that you do for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to speak with Alicia Seneff. Stay with us. We'll see you on the other side of these announcements.
It's like we just arrived.
I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. When I came back from the war, I became a homeless veteran. I was barely hanging on by a thread. The one thing that was constant for me was music. Music led me to Tanya. Normally with a veteran, we think we can solve everything. The truth of the matter is we cannot.
I just knew that something was different, something was off. I let him know that he wasn't alone. There are people that loved him.
And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love. Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without a high school diploma. My name is Ariel, and my entire life changed when I took a chance and I got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges. Oh my goodness.
So Ariel, we made this yearbook for you. It has notes from all the people that are here.
Apoyo y orientación que me da.
Your achievement has set an example for so many students. Most importantly, your daughter.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back to In Touch. It's my pleasure to welcome to the show our Durham County Soil and Water Education and Outreach Coordinator, Alicia Seneff. Hi, Alicia. Thank you for coming today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to a fun show.
Yeah, me too.
Yay. So please tell us about your role at Durham Soil and Water and the Education and Outreach Department and the work that you all do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the Education and Outreach Coordinator. So I lead and host a lot of the kid-related programs. So we do pre-K through 12, and then we also have adult programs. But yeah, I manage a lot of the classroom presentations, conservation contests, the Envirothon program, helping train students in that. And then any like civic events that we do, I'm usually the one out there.
Yay. So what did you do before joining Durham County? How long have you been with us?
I think this is 4 years for me. Before was a mix. I did some environmental education with a local conservancy here, and then animal welfare actually was the thing before that. So yeah.
Very nice, but always dealing with the public.
Definitely, yeah.
Nice, nice. So how did you become interested in soil and water?
I actually participated in the Envirothon program when I was in high school.
Ironic, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun working here and finding pictures of myself in like 11th grade on the computer. But yeah, I always had an interest in like the environment and animals, and I went to college and took a course in geography, and I just kind of fell in love with like everything that it explained to me, and I love sharing that with people. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
ended up at Soil and Water.
Well, clearly you have passion for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how many employees do you work with in your unit?
We have 6 full-time employees and 1 contractor, and everyone kind of does a little bit of education. The other people do a lot more with the adults and the farmers, especially since we focus a lot on agriculture. But yeah, we all take a hand in it.
Nice, nice. So tell me more about the environmental education opportunities for students. Do you have any upcoming events?
Yeah, we just released our bookmark contest, which is K through 2nd, and that's going to be running until about April. And then we have Envirothon coming up. The area competition is next month. And then after that, we have the state. So hopefully we have some teams from Durham who make it there. We usually do. They're very smart. And then the RCW, which is the Resource Conservation Workshop, is this summer. And that's for high school students who want to explore careers in natural resources. So
Kind of get in like you did.
exactly, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the Envirothon program. I mean, you mentioned it. It sounds like it's gone on for a few years. It's got a good history.
Yeah, it's gone on for a lot of years. It's a really cool program. It's teams of like 3 to 5 students, middle school and high school, and they work together to study different areas. So there's soils, forestry, wildlife, current environmental issues, and aquatics. And we help them train by bringing in resource professionals, or we do it ourselves and help them learn like what these people do in the field and the things they have to know. And then at the competition, they compete, take a test, kind of like Science Olympiad, and then they can go on to the state competition if they place in the top 7. And then it's actually international now, so China and Canada are in on it. So it's gotten really big.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you did mention this, though, the Resource Conservation Workshop. I understand they've got another workshop going this summer. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that is for high school students, and it's a week-long summer camp at NC State University. So they get to stay on campus and then spend the week doing field studies, field trips, experiments, things like that, to kind of learn about the different natural resource areas. And it's kind of geared to help them figure out what they want to do in college. So yeah, we have a few that go every year. We sponsor at least one every year to go.
So is there like an application process, or how do they get selected to go and participate?
Yeah, we have like a whole form they have to fill out, a few short essay questions, and then our Soil and Water Conservation District Board chooses which one they want to sponsor to go. So, and then it's free for them.
Yeah. So have we had some really superstars that have participated in that program?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we had 2 students from Jordan High School go, and one of them received a scholarship at the end because they take like a test at the end, and if you get a high enough score, you get awarded. And so they were one of the first recipients of this scholarship that they had. I don't remember the name of it.
That's okay.
Okay.
Free money is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that student's just absolutely incredible with everything that they've done. They're in the FFA team, and they've scored at the top at all of the FFA competitions too. So I think they're going to do great things.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Came out of Durham.
Yes.
So you also mentioned a few educational programs and opportunities for adults. What other programs do you offer for adults?
Yeah, so Sherry, my coworker, does these farmer and landowner breakfast series. That's during the winter. We just had our last one, but it's for farmers and landowners. And it's kind of a conversation about different topics. So this year we focused on farm law, farm tax, beneficial insects and pests, but the topics change every year. And then other farmer and adult related things that we do are the pond clinic, which is about managing an agricultural pond, and then the ag field day, which is about the newest technology and education in sustainable agriculture. So those topics change every year too.
Yeah. And I remember reading about the pond clinic because I think those happen pretty frequently in the spring, is it?
Yeah, I think it's usually around May that we do it.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of interest in that.
Definitely, yeah. We have like a fishing competition for the kids that come, so that brings a lot of good times.
Nice, nice. So, how can people get in touch with you if they want more information about the Envirothon program?
Absolutely. So they can call our office, which is 919-560-0558, and just ask about it. I'll probably be the one picking up the phone.
Right.
And if not me, Lisa, who is like really the head of the Envirothon program. She knows everything about it. And we'll be able to help with that. Or they can email us, and my email is esenif@dconc.gov.
Yeah, so do you work with all the high schools?
Yeah, if you are a Durham County resident or a Durham County school, whether it's public, private, homeschool, we work with you. Yeah.
So we're having a great conversation. I really appreciate your enthusiasm. So tell us, what areas are most interesting in your line of work?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that I find most interesting, I love talking about wildlife and adaptations. And then aside from that, aquatic anything. I love doing stream studies with students where we go out and we collect macroinvertebrates, which are just like the little bugs that live in our water, and seeing what that tells us about our water quality. And I always think those are really fun to do. So.
And I bet they really enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fun being able to get out there and like do these hands-on studies. Like you don't even feel like you're learning so much, but you are, so.
Very good. Well, again, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Is there one last little bit of information you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in environmental education opportunities and you're in Durham County, we can definitely help you with that. And we do so much more than just education. So if you're dealing with a natural resource issue, check us out. We might be able to help you.
Well, very good. And you guys just celebrated a milestone anniversary.
Yes, 60 years as an independent district. So we've been going strong.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today on In Touch. Be sure to follow us on social media. Sign up for our weekly Durham This Week online so that you can follow what's important in Durham County. We'll see you next time on In Touch with Durham County. Cheers.